All right, I think we have begun the streaming here. We ready? Excellent. Madam Chair, we will begin with you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Morningside's Go Team meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. I would like to remind everyone that this is a meeting of the Go Team. Only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. For members of the Go Team, please identify yourself when you speak. I am pleased to call this meeting of the Morningside Go Team to order at 4:03. Our first order of business is to call roll. The secretary will now take roll. Please respond with present when your name is called.
Brian Barron,
Present.
Kristen Sankata, Chappelle Washington Freer, John Peterson, Christina Davis,
Present.
Allison Maspelosine, present. Jeanette Greer,
Present.
Kristen Pollock,
Present.
Beth Guerin,
Present.
Snehal Patel, present. Kristen Sankata,
Present, I just joined on Zoom.
Awesome. Allison, is there a quorum present?
yes, there is a forum present.
All right, so our first order of business today is to approve the agenda. The agenda was provided to you on the Morningside Go Team page and is in the slide deck for today. Are there any changes to the agenda? May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve agenda, Pollock.
A second.
Second, motion to vote.
All in favor, say yay or raise your hand. All opposed, say nay. All right, motion approved. We will review and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. The minutes were provided to you on the MES Go Team page and in the slide deck for today. Are there any corrections to the meeting minutes? If there are no corrections, may I have a motion to approve the previous minutes, the previous meeting minutes?
Motion to approve, Pollock.
A second.
Snehal approves.
All in favor, please say yay or raise your hand. All opposed. All right. Our first action item today, we are moving on to the agenda. Oh, actually, we have finished our action items. We're moving on to our discussion items. The first discussion item is to review our school's strategic plan and strategic plan priority ranking, which we completed last year. We will then look at our 3 SMART goals and indicators to determine success. Brian?
Excellent, thank you so much. So welcome everybody. This is our first business meeting of the year. And so today is much of a review versus action items and voting session. So today we're going to look at what is currently going to be proposed for our new strategic plan. And we're going to first start at reviewing the old strategic plan that was up through this 2025 time. The next one will be for the next 5 years. So reviewing what our strategic plan is, we did have a full review of this in the last Go Team session 24-25, as well as ranking priorities. And so if you look on the left side of, I did give a handout that I will post into the minutes as well. On the left side with school strategic priorities, we do have 7 school priorities and then strategies that are associated with each of those priorities of how we get there. So I'm taking a look at all these strategic priorities, tongue twister today. What I'm going to do is actually flip to our plan priority ranking so that it really, oh, you know what? I did. Okay. Skip that. So I did align already what the priorities are with the left side on the priorities in order of ranking. So we are looking at 7 priorities. First one focusing on eliminating achievement gaps among African American, Hispanic, and special education student groups. We may want to, as over the next 2 business meetings, look at adding in a different subgroup where we are not going to be looked who are not going to be counted from this past school year actually, because we fell under 15 students in that particular subgroup, and that subgroup was English language learners. So we ended the school year officially with 14 students, and so therefore we are not counted, they're not counted as a subgroup for this this year's CCRPI. For next year, however, we are already there. Well above the 15. The same is true for our students with disabilities. At this moment, we have fallen below 15 in grades 3, 4, 5 total. And so I do think that we need to keep that in there as a priority because we will, as the year goes forward, I'm quite certain that we will go above that 15, right? So that we will talk about that in the next business meeting. And then we have the strategies that go along with how we accomplish those priorities. And the biggest one is about scheduling and reducing class size. Secondly, data-driven multi-tier system supports. We use a variety of strategies to ensure that we are meeting student needs, including data, which is GMAS, screeners, common assessments, etc. I'm going to pause for 1 second, if you don't mind. Mr. Peterson has joined us
Okay.
on Zoom. Mr. Peterson, if you can just let us know that you are present at this time, if you can unmute for a second.
Hey, Principal Brian. I want to thank you for your patience and also allowing me to be here and be a part of the Go team.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. So welcome. We are going through our priorities here. Priority 3 is focusing on individual student needs by strengthening intervention and enrichment programs. This was aligned with the addition of a new role in the school as well with a support teacher. And so there are 5 strategies here that we really, I'm so proud of what our school has done in the past year, especially, and we'll see that in terms of our results with GMAS for the spring in just a few minutes. Number 4 priority, creating a welcoming, inclusive, responsive culture that embraces all of our Morningside students and families. And that is looking at cultural competency and anti-bias equity training, implementing activities, creating a new parent program, which is in the works at this point, along with Mrs. Coyote, as well as our PTA. And then increasing family involvement and voice in the Go team discussions. And that was on a variety of points that was I think, very well accomplished with offering the opportunity for voice, especially like with the principal search process. That was really, I think, put out there in a variety of channels for input. Yes.
And just to add that the PTA has created the new committee of equity and
Thank
belonging,
you.
which is super exciting. So just wanted to add
Awesome. Thank you. I definitely did not mention that.
Yeah.
So that's, yes, thank you for raising that. Number 5, ensuring that parents are engaging in school family activities, reflecting the diversity of our school. We have work to do. Absolutely. It's a constant work in progress. So I do want to focus a lot on that this year. And yeah, I again, some of these results from GMAS, I'm gonna really push us to use that as a basis for how our students can achieve by adding in even higher levels of what these strategies are. Creating an environment that motivates and retains staff members, builds teacher leadership and focuses on on teacher wellness. We had a 98% retention rate this year across our entire staff. That is remarkable. That is remarkable. And then building capacity of talented and knowledgeable staff to meet student needs. And that is STEAM training, that is staff-wide proficiency, and again, monitoring and expanding professional learning opportunities. And we are really trying to harness new participation in professional learning opportunities across the school. Our foundation supports this strategy. for us to be able to send staff members for training. So like our bookkeeper is going to be engaging in professional learning supported by the foundation. So it should reach every aspect of our school. Okay. All right. So what I provided on the next slide. Y'all, if I don't remember to flip this slide, can someone just like wave or something? I'm gonna flip back one more time. So let me increase the size. You can see that up there. So our SMART goals, which are goals that are attainable, trackable, time-based goals, were created over the last few years and kept consistent with increases in percentages of proficiency. The first goal relates to reading as measured by Georgia Milestones. So this one was to increase from 77% in August last year to 80% in May. And I will show you in a moment where we landed. Our second goal on this strategic plan relates to math. That was looking at increasing proficiency school-wide from 76% to 78%. Where, again, I'll show you this, where this landed as well. And then our third goal related to attendance, because we are rated and scored as a school based on our attendance. And we know that there is a strong relationship between student attendance and student proficiency and mastery of content standards. And so this included all of our subgroups. I'm going to flip to the next slide to show you a suggestion for this upcoming year, because you move this out of the way. Sorry.
So Brian, we have the suggestions.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
The previous slide was from last year.
That's correct. So this is a suggestion of what I would like us to talk about at the next meeting, moving forward for the next 5-year strategic plan. Right? The SMART goals will be updated each year, but to keep a consistency in terms of what we talked about with the last Go team of where our focus is among all students, among our subgroups, among closing gaps, and then adding, keeping that attendance goal consistent as well. So what we looked at, and here's the first intro to our GMAS results, is that we did stay at 77% proficiency across the board. Now, you're gonna see interesting how some of our subgroups made huge gains. But then some did not, including white students, which is where our gaps are compared against, right? So that it'll make more sense as we go along. A suggestion is to also focus on reducing beginning level learners. When you reduce beginning level learners, the other quadrants increase. That's where they go, right? So to really name it and state it in our next strategic plan, okay? It's great to increase proficiency. We also have to decrease beginning level learners, right? So they go hand in hand. When we look at our math, my suggestion that we'll talk about is to increase by 2 percentage points. This was created according to the meeting that our cabinet had with our continuous improvement plan for the school. So our continuous improvement plan does match our strategic plan with our Go team. We should be doing the same work, right? So the second goal, we went from 76% in our last strategic plan of proficiency to 80% school-wide. We increased 4 percentage points across our entire school. And so, again, the discussion turned to 2 percentage point increase for math as well as reducing the level of beginning learners from 4% to 3% to reduce that by 1.
Can I ask, when you say increasing by 2%, do you mean
Proficiency.
80? Since we reached 80, go from 80 to 82?
Correct.
And then for reading, since we did not meet the 80%, are you saying 77% to 79?
That's correct.
Okay,
That's
so to
correct.
make sure I have that correct.
Anything above there is even more amazing, right? Okay. So,
Sorry,
yeah,
real quick question,
absolutely.
This is my first year.
Absolutely.
What do you mean by beginning level learners if we're just looking at 3rd to 5th?
So beginning level learners who score in the beginning category
Okay,
of the Georgia Milestones.
oh, okay, so you wouldn't count their scores, is what you're saying?
Well, so every score is counted.
Okay,
We receive points for CCRPI based on students who score in developing,
okay,
proficient, or exemplary categories.
got it,
We do not receive any points for students who score in a beginning level.
okay.
We should have 0 in beginning level. I mean, really, at the end of the day, we should have 0. Right. But there
I
are,
think that is, yeah, I don't think that that's possible.
I'm just saying, like, in the best world possible, right? Our in a utopia,
Yeah.
we should have 0%. But there are always
But I think we
going
need to be realistic as well.
struggling learners who we still have grown, right?
Well, sure.
Who fall into a beginning level category.
Do we know what percentage of our kindergartners come in with like 5 years of preschool versus nothing?
I don't know that, we don't collect
We
that
don't keep
data.
track of that?
We collect like the year before preschool,
Oh, where they're coming from.
right, where they're coming
okay.
from. who
But
it's-
okay, but we know who's coming from a preschool
Correct.
background and who's, and what is that?
I don't know it offhand. Can you make a
Okay.
note for me to bring that to the next one? Thank you. Yeah, I'll.
Because it seems like that would be where the gap
Sometimes.
contributes to the gap. because
Sometimes.
Some kids are coming in knowing letters and numbers and some kids are coming in not knowing.
I,
Not having done,
it is
not having ever
absolute-
had to sit in a classroom.
sure, it is absolutely a benefit, but it also depends on the program that kids have been in, right?
Right.
Was it a play-based program where?
economics.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
And
So-
lots of times you might see where kids are doing well in kindergarten or first grade, but those skills really jump when they get to
Right.
third grade, and so that second grade year can kind of.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I can get that percentage, yeah, for
I
sure.
didn't mean like to have, like, I just
Absolutely.
feel like there's a huge difference from kids who've been.
Sure, I mean, with the ability to sit in a classroom and understand what is expected of them as a student, right? Absolutely, someone who's not gone to preschool, they're for sure is, you know, can be a noticeable difference or not, it does, interesting, yeah. The third goal relates to attendance. I am so proud of these numbers of our students. And if someone wants to do a study about like our math increase, look at our attendance increase across the board, right? So the attendance percentage from this, one moment. Let me go back here for 1 second on my screen. I want to state the correct. Pardon my lag here. Our goal overall was 85% of overall students in overall low risk, meaning 10 days or less of absenteeism. 85% of all students will be absent 10 days or less. We hit 89%, and that's huge. Okay, now what's that?
85%
Of all students had 10 or less absences. Okay, when we look at the increase in what we were asking for from students in our subgroups, this is pretty remarkable. So CCRPI attendance of Black students in low risk will increase from 59% to 69%. Y'all, we hit 82% for our Black students. Our goal was 69. For our Hispanic students, an increase from 74 to 80. We did have an increase to 82% for our Hispanic students. Our EL students increased from 70 to 75. Our EL students went at 87%. It's remarkable. It is remarkable.
So what, what did we do different?
I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Special ed students with disabilities, their goal was an increase from 79 to 85%. We hit 81%. Okay. When I show you the increase in performance for our students with disabilities, that doesn't match with not hitting that goal because their increase was remarkable. Remarkable. So this is a goal that I am so proud of. So what we've done is really tightened up our processes in tracking attendance as well, with reaching out to families, with providing support to families, with really just being very on top of tightened processes And this is where we landed, right? So, Mr. LaSalle, our social worker, puts on not the traditional social worker hat in terms of there's a problem, I'm a social worker here to help you. It is, I am our attendance support. I happen to have the role of a social worker, so how can I help? What can we do together in order for, it was remarkable. So I'm super pleased. I'm super pleased.
He also targets or makes note of tardiness
Correct.
to kind of, I guess, get ahead of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tardies are absolutely tracked and contact is made.
You got it.
So. Okay. All right, so we'll be talking more about the strategic plan as we go to the next couple of meetings. All right. All right, next slide on this deck. We just talked about these. This is kind of a, how does this all come together with the strategic plan and our continuous improvement plan, as well as the indicators of how we get there. This is nothing new. This literally just ties in what we just looked at with the school-based continuous improvement plan through APS and aligning the priorities that we have set to the SMART goals that mimic from the SIP to the strategic plan. Okay, so I literally just copy and paste it. All right. We do cover most of our priorities in the academic goals. Goals 5 and 6 relate to culture, student culture, and family culture. Right. Can we fit in 5 and 6 into the others? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I really wanted to just kind of delineate like what these goals were and which very specific goals they are targeted to align with. Does that make sense? Okay. So, y'all, I just figured out that because I'm logged into Zoom and I'm switching the slides on this computer, it's switching on my computer. There we go. Data discussion. Let's talk some data. All right. Before I present these bits of data, I want to share something that I shared at the Testing and Assessment Parent University relating to MAP. MAP is a snapshot in time of when that student sat and took this assessment. Okay. Beginning of year results for MAP serve as a baseline. They serve as a baseline. They serve as indicators of where are our students after a summer break. Right? It is based on the grade level content or standards rather. Let me back that up. It is based on that point in time in that student's grade level of adjusting the levels of questions that they are asked. So it is a different, if a student's in 3rd grade now, it's a different map than it was spring of 2nd grade. Okay, the questions are different, right? So I just kind of wanted to put that out there. At this point right now, overall, with all of our students, reading, students, overall, we have a 74% proficient or above achievement level. What this does is predicts, at this point, if students were to take GMAS, that's where they would lie. 7% of our students are in a beginning category, 19% in developing, 41% in proficient, 33% in distinguished. For reading, and then math, it is wait a minute. I should know that beginning level percentage. Y'all can someone do math real quick. 22% in developing, 46% in proficient, and 29% in distinguished. The question always comes up, where are we in terms of where we are in the cluster and in the district? We have landed at number 2 in both reading and math. Okay. For math,
3%.
thank you, 3% in beginning and math.
Hang on.
We're gonna go for it.
Because you said 75, right?
Correct.
Is it?
Oh, right,
Question or
yeah,
above?
see, that's my mental math not working right now. Y'all, that's pretty remarkable. To start off the school year with the math at 3% beginning. Remarkable. I will say that the difference in why we were not at that top number 1. You ready for this? The number of students, not the percentage in beginning. So there is one school who has the exact same amount of proficient and above, the exact same amount of developing, and the exact percentage of beginning, but we're a larger school. So our numbers are a little bit larger, right? That was the only piece. Can you tell the competitive side of this? But I'm so proud of this as well. So let's dive into it.
Second in the district, but in the cluster.
District.
Okay.
In the district. Okay, what we're looking at here are year to year, so what I've done is put cohorts together. So where it says 24-25, that was last year at this time and this year at this time. It says second grade and third grade together, because those are the students where they were and where they are, right? It is not an equivalency per se, right? But I just want to put this forward to show like it's pretty similar of where students start in the beginning of the school years, right? So this breaks down those 74% proficient and above, and that 75 proficient and above in the average altogether between second, third, fourth, and fifth grade. Okay.
Brian, is there any way we can get rid of the bubbles at the bottom of that screen behind you?
Oh, we sure can.
Fifth grade reading data.
Sorry. Let's do. How's that?
No.
All right, I'm not sure how to, where to put that. What we're missing on the screen is 17% reading, fifth grade is developing, 51% is proficient, 29% distinguished. Okay. So y'all, these numbers are, they're pretty good to start off a school year. It's some really impressive data. Look at the reading from fourth grade from 2024 at that beginning of the year. I will say that the fourth grade scores on GMAS were number 7 in the state. Number 5 when you take out magnet schools. So, right, this is like a really strong fifth grade moving up as well. They're all strong, but I just wanted to point that out. So every grade level has a good percentage of students in the distinguished category, a good percentage of students in proficient, and a much lower percentage of students in beginning level. So this is what every principal wants to see. This is very workable, right? I mean, this is good stuff. So breaking it down into our subgroups that are part of our strategic plan SMART goals. Looking across, we're all over the place, kind of, but I will say this, look at fourth grade math for our Black students, 25% in beginning, but that does not equate to more than 2 students. So just know, like, percentages we have to be careful about also, and look at numbers, because when you break it down to the number, that is naming and that is plan of action, right? So we're doing pretty well. The bottom part with reading, I know it. So I just want to explain, this doubles up reading language arts. There's only one assessment given for MAP. It's something with the MAP reporting that lists it twice. So we just have to look at one per grade level, right? So if we look at reading grade 5, 30% developing, 50% proficient, 20% distinguished, no beginning students in reading among our Black students in grades 5 and grade 4. Grade 3 does have some, but that's a big difference too between second and third grade. There's a big difference between first and second grade, right? So like 50% are in the beginning category in second grade. The MAP assessment is read to them in first grade, it is not in second grade. So there are factors. The beginning level will shrink significantly. I know it will. Okay. Two or more. What this is multiracial. Okay. 2 or more ethnicities. This is pretty impressive as well. In math, there are no students in the beginning category across the board. Phenomenal. When we look at reading, again, second grade, right? There it is. And so no other grade levels have students in the beginning category in reading. Hello, like what a place to start. Okay. Hispanic students, this is, there are this is our subgroup where we have this significant amount in our beginning level. Some of it comes along with English language learning, right? Which over the course of a school year is absolutely a focus for why the number of students in beginning is going to shrink.
Are they counted in both, or like, do we know if there are students that fall under?
That overlap?
Yeah,
There are. There are
okay,
students in every category who overlap.
Okay.
One or more categories. We
Got it.
have white students who are English language learners. We have Black students who are English language learners. We have
Okay.
Hispanic students who are, yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. And then we have our EL students. So again, these numbers the red looks like a lot, but again, it's the beginning of the year. And this will also reduce. I'm gonna show you how EL students performed on GMAS, and this will tell the full story. Or not the full story, this will tell more of a story from, like, these numbers look very similar last fall across the board. And that by the end of the school year, it equated to achievement and growth. So
When you could possibly be going home, going somewhere over the summer, not speaking
Absolutely.
not speaking
Point.
English and.
absolutely, I know
Come
two
back.
students who went somewhere over the summer and hardly spoke English.
Yeah.
Right? So it's okay. Right? It is all right. All right, moving along. Here we are, GMAS. All right, so looking at ELA. Again, we did go up a 0.1% in ELA across the board, from 24 to 25, but stayed at that 77, which is fine. Our math went, again, 4 percentage point increase. Our science did fall slightly. Our science fell about 6 percentage points. There's a number of factors for that, right? So one main factor is we had a turnover in our 5th grade. And that it happens. It happens. We had a science teacher who was here for many years, right? And so I am pretty confident that this will go back up this year. Right? We're in a second year of a new set of teachers. So even so, 73.7% notable. Okay, let's break it down. So across the board, fascinating. 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade overall, 5% in beginning. In each of these grade levels. That's pretty interesting. And then so our 3rd grade in ELA did have the most developing learners. Our 4th grade had the least amount. 84% proficiency in 4th grade, 71% proficiency in 3rd grade, and then 74% proficiency in 5th grade. Our math, 3rd grade had no beginning levels in math, or no beginning learners in math at all. So you see, like, where our increase came from. A lot of it came from 3rd grade, right? So now they've moved up to 4th grade. So this just breaks it down by the categories. Okay, looking at alignment. So our first goal, proficient and above in reading, 77 to 80. We did not hit the 80, we hit 77. Students with disabilities went from 21% proficient and above to 34% proficient and above. It's one of the largest jumps across the district. Phenomenal. Our EL students, beginning level dropped by 10%. Students went from 13% proficiency to 21% proficiency. That's a huge jump. Huge. Our Black and African American students went from 41 to 52%. Our Hispanic students did drop slightly from 47 to 45, and our white student performance dropped from 83% to 81%. So when you look at ELA, and I absolutely am staring at a spelling error. So sorry. I will fix it. When you look at closing gaps, we're closing gaps in ELA among our subgroups because what we're looking at our gaps with, our white student performance dropped. And the majority of our subgroup performance did increase. And some significantly. Okay.
As a
Yeah.
question, since the beginning level percentages are so small,
Yes.
are we tracking those specific students? So as
Absolutely.
were they beginning the year before? Are they staying beginning as they go, or are they?
No, so many did shift to developing, some went up to proficient. Yeah, so we absolutely did track that as well, yeah. Good question. Okay. The second goal, math, increased from 76 to 80%. A lot of this is just kind of circular data, so you see different pieces and different views. So our students with disabilities increased from 26 to 33%. EL students, 13 to 21%, including 7% of our ELs were distinguished learners. Amazing. Our Black and African American students, 44 to 52%. Quite remarkable that we hit the same number of proficiency and above with math and reading with our Black African American students. I've never seen that, like in any subgroup hit the same percentage. Pretty cool. Our Hispanic students did drop as well a little bit, 4 percentage points. Our white students did increase 4 percentage points as well. So we are closing gaps in math, because when you still look at the 4 percentage points, our subgroups did increase double that 4 percentage points in three of the categories, right? So bravo. So the question is, what do you attribute this to? I attribute this to a couple of things. One, a strong focus on pinpoint naming children and what they need. Period. Secondly, is another layer of small groups that occurred throughout every day across the grade levels, and pulling students who needed something additional. Okay, we also had assistance from an outside agency who worked with our Black and African American students as well as some other students to focus on some needs. And bam, like I'm a happy guy. Do we still have room that we need to? Yeah, for sure. But we're gonna celebrate this 100%. We're gonna celebrate this. And then again, our third goal, we just talked about all of these percentages as well. Okay. So again, the tie between attendance and achievement, it is strong. It is super strong. All right, this again, I'm pulling a variety of views for this. This is where students landed overall across all grade levels, with reading in GMAS 5% beginning, and then our 77% proficient and above, and then math, our 80% with 4% students in beginning levels. The focus this year is to move students from one category up, at least one, right? Okay. All right. I don't want to be a full dead horse here. We already talked about these. We looked at this as well from year to year. Yes, I just want to make sure I'm not skipping anything. These are all of our ethnicities at Morningside broken down. Asian, Pacific Islander, Black, Hispanic, multiracial, and white. And this just shows the year to year comparison. The column on the left of each color is 2024 to 2025. Okay. So again, there are, I want to just point out math, multiracial. So although that did stay at 87%, it dropped 0.3% of proficiency, but it's not a significant drop. We only had a somewhat significant drop with our Hispanic students, which is an aha moment for us, for this Go team, looking at our strategic plan, as well as obviously continuing to focus on all of our other students, right? So this is everything right here. Look at these gains. I mean, it's impressive. But again, we still have ways to go. What's that?
I said Black and Hispanics are still underperforming.
They're underperforming consistently.
Yeah.
but we
But
are,
there is progress.
there is
But we-
progress.
I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
saying
no,
right
the-
now.
the real- and that's what I
But
was
you can't
saying.
have that, I mean,
Right.
nobody's ever going to be, that nothing's gonna be equal, ever, like, it's not statistically. You're not going to have every single group performing exactly the same.
It's the goal,
It's the goal,
it's the goal.
yes, you want everyone to
But-
continue to improve, but it's kind of like you're not going to. Have everybody at 100%.
And we're right, and so
Like
we're
it's-
not gonna stop until we are looking
Yeah,
at
you gotta
an
keep
equivalency.
growing.
Absolutely,
Also, to know with the math last year, we got a completely new program,
Yes.
so teachers were a little bit confused too, so that.
but the math had a significant increase in 4 percentage points of proficiency, right? So just to throw this out there, one of my things as a principal is consistency. So the math resource is going to be in place for the next 3 years.
And I love that math program because the students can identify.
Yes.
Because that's the thing about these subgroups, they need
Yeah.
to be able to identify with the people they're
And
learning.
connect.
Yes,
yes.
lived experience,
Right.
it builds into the comfort and sense of belonging. And
Absolutely,
then it shows and displays in how they academically perform.
absolutely,
Unfortunately, a lot of our experiences, we can't verbally
yeah,
say, I'm uncomfortable learning
Right.
from you as a 8-year-old, but it works.
Yeah.
When you have representation,
Yeah.
and it's in research.
for sure,
And so I'm grateful for Dr. Sinclair and the rest of you for bringing in that program for
Yes.
students that, like, with, people they can really identify with.
Yeah.
Because it's really important,
for sure.
whether we call it out or not. And
So
I
are you
appreciate
talking
you
about-
not using subgroups and calling out
Right,
the names explicitly because,
and we can't call names here, but.
no, not
You
names,
did.
but like identifying them by ethnicity, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think you meant too, when you. Name a student, you don't literally mean naming the student, but you're
The ethnicity.
you're putting, you're identifying and going to help
Yes,
whoever it is
yeah,
Right.
that needs it. Are you, when you're talking about the program, are you talking about the new math program? Or are you talking about the outside group
The
that
outside
came in?
tutors that came to
Okay,
us,
not
specifically
the
the Black students.
Eureka Square, okay.
Yeah,
I
they
just wanted to
really,
clarify,
really,
yeah.
really helped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not Eureka, not.
Okay, I was like, wait, did I miss something with the?
And I wanna-
reason that depicting
Cause that is,
Yeah.
I mean, it was vital,
Yeah.
as a parent who this is affecting.
sure,
Like.
I wanna
in
look
the
at something
flesh.
also for our Hispanic students.
Yeah, and they need it.
Same thing,
And honestly, this is taking me to my next point,
Yeah.
like. Even offering a level of enrichment, like
Absolutely.
gate-like, right,
absolutely,
even though everybody cringes when we hear that.
Yeah.
Because these students need outside experiences that develop them socially and emotionally that have
Yeah.
nothing to do with academics
sure,
in this space.
sure.
Because they're going to feel more empowered and then it will trickle over academically.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because there's needs that we know, talking about things just
Sure.
not ever being equal,
Yeah,
right? Socioeconomically and just being in America generally, we are affected differently.
sure,
And so even white students, depending on
Right.
what you have at home, right? And so, and because I have I'm sorry, I'm gonna rant, but there's a student I know who was not engaged, who was white,
Mhm.
right? And emotionally, she's still suffering right now, and she's 15 years old at a
Sure.
completely different school
Sure.
district. And I know for a fact, had she had some social and emotional enrichment,
Mhm.
she would be feeling okay. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
academically, it would have contributed to her success to the state. So
Absolutely.
all of those things are factors.
Mhm. Thank you. So we're gonna
Yeah.
continue on our path because we are seeing results. Yes, there's still underperformance, but we're trending in the right direction for most of our thing, yeah.
Are there schools that are similar in makeup to ours that have less of a gap and that we could be learning from?
There are, there's, the numbers also are different though.
Right, the numbers are a little
The
different.
numbers are a little different.
But yeah.
So yes, yes,
But when we're talking about like when Chappelle mentioned, like there is a huge, like you're looking at a 30%,
Yes.
40% difference.
sure,
What are the barriers? If language isn't an issue. And if it's not a different learning style or, something that's coming in with EIP or anything
Connection.
like that, yeah. What is it? Is it something then like through, cause I think we talked about math, maybe at the last GOTY meeting from last year, I was just sitting in. Where parents are being taught what the math stuff
Mhm.
is, cause if it was a new program, then parents were being taught so they could also do it at home. is there a disconnect there that certain families don't have access to that or timing, whatever?
Absolutely, I think that's
Okay.
a factor.
That is
Um,
effective.
We are, so Dr. Sinclair and I are splitting up our parent engagement opportunities
Right.
this year
Mhm.
with a coffee talk focused on several different areas, and then Tea with the AP focused on some more academically focused things for parents in general, right? So academic language and SEL and those sort of things to try to, and that's gonna be at like 3 o'clock, right? At pickup time. We're trying to do a few different things to connect. But what you're saying, yeah, I do think that there is a disconnect with how to help at home
Mhm.
without understanding how to help at home, right? Like, that's, I think, a barrier
Mhm.
for us.
I have a question, kind of like how you were worried about tracking pre-Ks. Do we know who's getting like super extra help, like going to Kumon or having professors at home or who's that? Cause, you know,
Right,
if you have a second grader on a
sure.
12th grade level, but
Sure.
they're comparing to a normal second grader.
We don't have that data. Can you add this into a data point? That I will reach out to all families, just a quick survey to find out who is receiving services outside here. I have no data on that whatsoever. No,
Also, when
Okay.
go back to your point from the last meeting, is where hearing the voice of the students, right? Because all of it, I mean, at home is, at home is a thing, right? But at home, the likelihood of us being able to shift it and do all of these things,
Sure.
I don't know, we can educate them, yeah. But I think that the students feeling safe in this environment, like inside, you know what I mean, is a thing.
Mhm.
And
That
heard.
sense of community and belonging is a thing, and I think that we'll be able to extract that data from those, maybe you can't do a survey for kindergartners, but you said like small groups and
Sure.
just getting some qualitative data from students. And maybe quant from the students who are in those higher grades, 4th and 5th, but that will also capture the experiences they're having in this space that are affecting them academically,
Absolutely.
that they won't verbally say.
Yeah.
And I think, like you're saying, that not only will you can capture that, but I think even them having the opportunity to just get it out, whether anything's
Yeah.
done or not, just that being heard,
Mhm.
having the
Yes.
opportunity, oh, somebody's listening to me. And they're not judging me for whatever I'm gonna say, they're actually listening to me. Changes.
Yeah, and then come back to the
everything.
environment, just ready
Yeah.
to receive,
Right.
and,
So every morning, Mr. Osani is in the hallway now
mhm.
and literally stops students every minute for 45 minutes and connects. And it's an informal connection
Mhm.
that the kids don't know that he's really like digging.
Yeah,
Right?
he started his project last year.
Yes, and so that has
Yeah.
been awesome to watch.
Yeah, I bet.
Awesome.
I think the in-person connections are important, and not to put more on your plate,
Sure.
but for those kids that are too shy to open up.
Yes, like
talk
her.
to a person.
Sure.
What if there was like a hotline, cause little kids that love to talk, so they could call and kind of leave a voicemail
Mm.
that, I don't like when my teachers mean to me or yell, and just they feel free, even, if they're talking in front of their parent or, mom lets them call in their own room or something, just to get everything off their chest, and then we can
Address
hear
that.
that.
After that, but yeah.
We need some type
I
of way to
love
capture the lived experience
Yeah.
of students
Well,
here,
I
from
love
their
that.
voice and not us.
Yeah, just to go back to the equity and belonging, we reached out to teachers to kind of get them to see if they understand what's going on with their student populations. It is interesting, we've talked about reaching out to the students to see, from more of a participation standpoint and like the extras, like, are you attending school events? Is there a reason why you're not? Are parents not? Like, do you not feel like you have a space here at Morningside? And I think both contribute to each other, right? Like, if you don't feel like Morningside is your school, you're not going to the events, you're not creating your community, you're not academically participating, you're not motivated. I think that's like all coming together. It's a big lift, but I think if we can like make these small steps. Surveys are hard because you know, participation
Yeah.
rate when you're looking at your numbers.
Sure.
I think we get like maybe 100 responses for all of them, but any data I think would be helpful.
Maybe it's a teacher task. Hey,
Right.
5 minutes for fifth graders, guess what?
Right,
We're taking a
then
survey.
right.
You get to do a movie day
Right.
on, blah, 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 whatever
Yeah.
you gotta do for an incentive to get this
Right,
to.
Sure.
Yeah,
and-
I have noticed that I need to do something differently because even like coffee talks, which are now called caffeine connections, are not being well attended
yeah,
at all. And I don't think it's because everybody's happy. I like to think that, but you know, it's life, everybody's
Yeah.
life thing.
Yeah, and it's,
At the end of the day, I want there to be no other choice other than Morningside.
mhm.
That's a full
People have
sentence.
lovely things to say. I mean,
It's a
when you're
magical
Morningside,
place.
I light up.
It's a magical thing. Right, so I'm super committed to that, and this Go team. I know is gonna have a huge part in creating opportunities that I can then enact, right? That really is, I want there to be no other option other than this school. So.
The number idea is free, but like. It's getting long, but when we made candles last year, leadership team,
Yeah.
that was like very calming for, you
Yes.
know, the hard stressful day. So what if we offered something like that to parents, like a paper, and you just come in and just, yeah, and not
Tied in.
have to talk, you don't have to hear all the numbers and stuff,
Sure.
but you can connect with the principal and connect with other parents and, you know,
Yeah.
take a load off of life.
Sure.
It's
What's that?
hard to get.
Hey, I wanna partner like you're, you know
Oh,
that?
we can sponsor like something like,
Let's talk,
yeah.
let's talk, I am all for it.
I have a question
Yes.
just for the teachers, because it's been a long time since I've been in elementary school.
Mhm.
Do kids feel like they're able to ask for help when they are struggling with something? And is that like something, because I feel like a lot of times as a kid, you might feel like everyone else gets it and you see like all these gay kids and it's hard to ask for help or to say that you don't understand something. So is there a way to like just normalize in the classroom, like every week where the teachers are like, I want everyone to write one thing that they need help with or one thing that they don't understand, just to make it like normal in the culture that asking for help is normal. 'Cause I think it's like a really hard thing, would be a hard thing.
It's a
I
high
think that
five.
is rare. Yes, I think every teacher tries to make as much as they can, make it, and that it's, our job is to help you. Like if you didn't need help, if we didn't have to teach you, then we wouldn't have a job.
Right.
Like that, the
Right.
whole point of coming to
Right.
school is to make mistakes and learn, right?
But
But it doesn't matter if we say that.
right, but if there's a way, like everyone has to take a piece of paper and
I-
write one thing they
Yeah,
need
I like
help
your
with.
idea.
made my
to
kids
make
go
it
back
more
and
comfortable. My kids, what I'm experiencing now, when I see that they need help and offer, they're getting very angry
Yeah.
at me and asking me to leave them alone. So
Yes.
maybe it's something.
And see, and I think
I like
even
that.
my own
And I
personal
like
children,
other
even my own
teachers,
personal children who
Yeah.
at home,
But
they,
maybe
the last thing in the
something
world
teach
is
Cool.
wanting help. They don't
Right.
want little, like
Right.
they want.
You know, no, I don't think it's just a child thing,
Yeah,
it's an adult issue too.
Oh.
So
you are.
It's not.
Right.
gay, it's not that. It's assumed that everyone else is everything. And it's embarrassing for them to ask the question because you assume all my friends are so smart.
Right,
And I'm the only one who doesn't understand this, so I don't wanna ask.
right.
Yeah.
So maybe if it's a thing where like everyone has to write down something that they don't know.
But the
Like,
yeah,
I don't know,
that's
just
from
like
there.
the teachers can then identify like who is really does want help. I don't know, just thinking like
Yeah.
from my own kid who,
I definitely think it needs to be taught.
like, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I will say that Miss Morel, and of course it depends on each teacher's bandwidth, but Miss Morel now is doing tutorials. So on Wednesdays after school, like immediately once class is dismissed, she's keeping like an hour or 2 hours to have kids. Parents have to sign up a couple of days before. Once she sees who signed up, she comes up with a plan because she knows what to kind of tailor it to.
Smiling too, right?
I'm not sure.
I heard that.
Yeah, but I think it's amazing. You know, but unfortunately we have extras on the Wednesday, but I do think it's an environment where, you know, like if they get to be with an extra friend and do her study guide or something like that, and the way that she's talking about it is her way offering additional support outside of what she's sending in the study guides in the Wednesday folder. So this is a third grade level. And I know that because Miss Morrell in particular is very attentive to students' needs, like she's been able to kind of figure that out. We've already had our conferences. That when she sees who's signing up for that tutorial, she's got a more like oriented plan for who she's meeting with or who's gonna stay back. I think that is a huge thing that if we kind of make that more accessible across the school, of course, that's something else that we're adding on for teachers.
Well,
So it's like,
every teacher does have a 1 day tutorial day
okay.
across the board.
Is
But
that
It
always-
looks
I did
different.
not have
It
that.
started last year,
Okay,
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 but it was ramping up,
okay, got
right?
it,
So,
got it.
I'll ask for a little grace on that.
Yeah, and it's not always offered for every student, sometimes it's offered for just the
That-
student
that's
that
what it
needs
was.
something.
Right,
which-
but I think what that speaks to is if there is a child that feels like, hey, maybe you think I got it, but I
Yeah.
don't
But I
feel
don't.
100%
Sure.
confident.
Right.
Sure.
They have the option now to
Absolutely.
also attend.
I think it's just a skill to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, middle schools
Yeah.
all do tutorial, high school
Right.
all do tutorial. My son is in junior, and
Yeah.
this is the first year where he'll like text me like, I'm
Of
staying
course.
late to go.
Ah.
I'm like, finally.
I've done this in elementary
For like
school.
12, 11 years.
Right,
But like he's finally learned how
Yeah.
to ask for help, and I just think it's
I
like
think
something.
that's, like, as an adult, we don't feel comfortable. for
Right.
asking for help.
Right,
I
right,
would
and
say
a lot of
that,
times I
yeah.
feel like, because we're in a high achieving school and they see like the gate kids who are
Sure.
going out and they just assume, oh, all these kids are so smart, I don't wanna ask my
And it's
question.
like, you are with 1% of the world,
That's
like,
right.
like, cause there's so many kids in here that are at the, like, you're not gonna be surrounded by these
Absolutely.
types of people when you go out into the larger world.
absolutely.
Morningside is not representation of the larger world, it's not. It's very high socioeconomic, it's just very, I have to tell her that all the time. And here I am, first generation, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Breaking ceilings and stuff, but it's just different.
yeah, I mean, I think just like promoting this whole culture, kids feel like comfortable asking for help or have a way to do it without like having to raise their hand in front of their peers, who
Right.
feel like
Yeah.
everyone else knows this, but.
We're gonna continue these conversations as we, no, really, like as we, like the next one, when we really dive back into the strategic plan. This will become part of that conversation as well. Okay. Can I? Yeah, I skipped a couple of the slides because we have already discussed what those other slides are. I will go back in and add that in based on the minutes, okay, based on our conversation that we had, okay? It was about glows and grows, it was about, like, we just covered all of that, which I love the organic conversation. So really quickly, we are here at September and through December with our business meetings where we look at we will begin to dive into strategic plan, talking about our priorities and looking at the strategies to support the priorities as well. And then as we get into the second semester, we will dive back into budget season, okay? All right, so this is very quick. Are there questions or did we just answer and ask and, okay, perfect. So principals report really quickly, leveling and budget adjustment. We spoke about this at the last meeting. There's been a revision. So I need to just really quickly tell you what that revision is. We are still at 670 students, meaning that we have a difference of 24 from what was projected. We will not be getting the $24,000 that I discussed at the first meeting. That was pulled back for a variety of reasons due to a budget deficit in the district. However, the $11,118 that we do owe, which is the delta between what was put aside and what we owe, we're being held harmless for, meaning we do not owe that back. Okay, so I needed to present that out to this Go team. So yay.
Yay.
Right? All right, staffing really quickly. Angela Banks, a beloved kindergarten paraprofessional, has landed a lead pre-K teacher position.
Oh my gosh,
At
I'm so happy for
Whiteford.
her. Love
So
her.
she is
I'm sorry.
John and started that roller. Yeah. Yes. So we've just made a recommendation for hire for a new kinder para. I will communicate that out when that becomes official through HR. We are also We have a special education pair. Hey, John, clap his hands. I can see it on my screen on the Zoom. Thanks, John. We have a special education para position posted. We are about to be interviewing for that. I'll have an update for that as well in the next couple of weeks. And comprehensive long-range facilities plan. The district is pushing out information to the community about the long-range facilities plan. There have been task force meetings that have occurred. The last one was August 5th. There are 2 upcoming meetings, October 20th and November 10th. There are 2 opportunities to engage, one at noon virtually, one in person at CLL. The scenarios of what may be looked at have been sent out to everyone through the district. And that is about like scenarios regarding school mergers, school closures. But again, these are not decisions, these are scenarios that have been presented. Okay, in our cluster, the scenarios that were presented relate to the high school, to Midtown High School. They do not, at this point, what was sent out does not touch any of the elementaries or the middle school. So I did want to communicate that. So we'll all be looking at this together. Okay, there'll be more of an update at the next Go Team meeting, based on some things that will be coming out over the next couple of weeks. Okay, I definitely encourage you to look at that. Look at those scenarios, they're extensive, very extensive, right? And congratulations. So I sent out a message to our last year's Go Team. Last year's Go Team, I received a message yesterday from the Go Team office saying that the last year's Go Team has won the 2025 Outstanding Go Team Award in the district.
I was like, I know we did.
Correct. It was huge last year through a transition of leadership, through a budgeting process of like being dropped in the budget process. And it was just like the teamwork was just remarkable.
And shout out to Brooke.
And right,
I just
exactly.
being a leader, like.
Yeah, it was seamless. It was seamless, all up through the principal search process. And so for that, I'm super grateful. But it really was phenomenal. So this award will be presented on November 1st at the AP Yes Awards. And it's just really exciting. Really exciting. Out of all of the schools in APS, that this gem has been awarded this for the hard work and dedication. So in person, the G3 Summit is Saturday, September 27th. I will send you've been receiving info, I'll send it as I get it as well. It is in person at the Atlantic College and Career Academy. And we end with a question slide if there are any other questions. We began this meeting at 4:03.
4:03.
It is 5:05. And here we are. All right, so y'all, thank you so much for that engagement. Chair.
Chair, we have reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time? We did not have any public comment, no other announcements. May I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
A second?
Second.
All in favor, please raise your hands or say aye.
Aye.
All right, the meeting has been adjourned at 5:05.
Excellent. I'm gonna end the recording. I want to just say before I end it, thank you so much to everyone for joining in person, on Zoom. Can't do it without you all. Happy Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
1 second, I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah, I did it.
And thanks for everything you're doing, Brian. How about you?
Oh, it's my pleasure.